right, welcome everyone to another episode on A Philosophy for Life. This next 2, 3, maybe 4 episodes are going to focus on birds chirping. Look, I'm in their habitat. They have every right to be as loud as they want. So, the next episodes are going to focus on law, man-made law, and then hopefully the last one will be about natural law. But maybe first it's worth pointing out a few absurdities with man-made law that we never question. And I'm gonna read a lot from my journal. That's what I'm always reading off when I look down, because I've written down a lot there, and they're just some things that I know I won't be saying as fluently as I got them down on paper back then, so I hope you don't mind. A law doesn't become valid because someone wrote it down on paper. The very fact that something was written down as unlawful in one area of this world and becomes perfectly legal, i.e. not written down on paper, by crossing an invisible line, shows you how arbitrary man-made law is. It's one of the illusions I mentioned in the pilot episode. It's one of these things where we've been convinced of something that just isn't. Because philosophy was a study about nature and existence, and that implies studying that which is, and that which is simply truth. And that's why I don't understand why so many people have such a problem with the word truth, because it simply means that which is. And I said governments or evil generally has convinced most human beings on this earth of things that are not. And these laws, that man-made laws, had any inherent validity just because they were written down on paper. That is one of these illusions. Let's take the example of driver's license. It's not the license that enables you to drive. I mean, that is clear. Like, it's your own skill, and obviously the help of somebody. If somebody was there to teach you, then you got some help there. But fundamentally, what enables you to drive is you and your skill, and your mind and your physical body. The only reason you need a license is because the state has made it illegal to drive without a license. Yeah, I would be outraged too. So that's the only reason you need a license, because the state has declared it illegal to drive without that piece of paper. Obviously, the argument from the advocates of control is that there has to be a system in place that makes sure only qualified persons take to the road, and that's the argument. But the thing is, if somebody's incapable of driving for whichever reason, that becomes obvious pretty fast. And I've sat in cars with people that have done a driving license and that have done their driving exams and gotten a license, and I'm like wondering how they've done it, because so bad was their driving. On the other hand, there are cases of people that have lost their license because they got caught crossing a road, as a pedestrian, because they crossed the road at a red light, and the argument is then they weren't capable of participating in traffic. And are they now suddenly incapable of driving a car? Of course not. A license, any license, is a permission to break the law. And I have a teacher named Marcus to thank for that realization. I wish I could give you more of his name, but he's just known as Marcus. So I wouldn't know how to quote him more thoroughly. So this is how it works, right? The government makes a thing, an activity that a human being might want to engage in, illegal. A perfectly moral thing, like driving a vehicle from A to B, or building a house and obtaining the necessary materials for it, or opening a business. Perfectly moral things are made illegal by government, and then you have to get a license. It's not the license that enables you to do any of these. You may desire these things, and they may be perfectly moral to pursue, as long as you don't harm anyone. Like, that's the golden rule, isn't it? So government makes it illegal, and then at the same time it sells you the permission to break that law in form of a license. Observe how anybody without the license would still be breaking the law if they did the same thing. Their only fault, they haven't paid off the right people. Literally. You don't need government writing down what's wrong and right, because you know that by virtue of existing. As we talked about in episode 1. So check out that episode if you don't get that sentence. This knowledge is the moral compass that nature has equipped you with, and you would still know that murder, theft, and rape were wrong, even if a country decided to make them legal. On paper, no matter how official that piece of paper looks. Or would you? I mean, the example of immoral laws passed by government are plenty, and we all recognize them as immoral today. This is proof that government laws are arbitrary and usually passed with an agenda in mind. The only way to live life as a good person is to listen to your conscience and apply common sense to work out natural law for yourself, i.e. right and wrong. If you just follow authority, you will be used by authority for whatever nefarious deed it has next planned.